What's up, y'all? Welcome back to K and Kas, or Cage. We still trying to work on this name, y'all. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but today I'm doing a video by myself because Kasia is in AT right now, and if you don't know, AT is like when you go to train for 2 weeks once a year. So yeah, I had just actually recently gotten done with my AT last month, so this month she has her AT. It's usually not like that, but originally her AT was supposed to start in September, but she wanted to do it ahead of time. So I decided that I'm going to do a story time about the time the Army almost got me arrested. Yep, they were trying to lock me up. And if y'all want to know about this crazy ass story, stay tuned. Because they was really trying to have me locked up with these prisoners. I can't, y'all. You in for one, all right? You in for one. This story starts last year, 2018. First year in the military. I didn't know much about drills or anything. Didn't know what to expect. This story takes place at the end of October. And during this time, my uncle, I was visiting him. I had just seen him, I think a few weeks before this actually happened. Somehow, my uncle ended up passing away in his sleep due to an epileptic seizure. So I would say that following weekend, mind you, this was towards the end of October, I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to come to drill because I need to be with my family right now. Because at the time, I was in Terre Haute, Indiana. You probably don't know what that is because I attend ISU. I'm from Chicago, go to school in Terre Haute. That's a 3-hour drive. I cannot make it to the drill. Because, they say usually you can miss a drill if it's like a family emergency or whatever. So in the Army, you have to use like a chain of command. So I'm telling them, hey, I'm not going to be there. I'm telling my platoon sergeant this, by the way. I'm like, I'm not going to be there. Can you let them know so I won't be marked as AWOL or that I'm being like, a bad soldier. So he said, yeah. So I'm like, all right, so I don't have to worry about that. So I missed that drill. Nobody said anything to me. Nothing. I get a phone call. He asked me what day I want to split train. I told him the days, and those days came and went. He said nothing. Nobody contacted me. Nobody said anything. So I figured everything was okay. So, mind you, I said this was the end of October. So coming into November, my uncle, because October is like Halloween and people have their own little stuff going on, so they decided to like have his funeral towards and it was like some type of period where they had to like figure out what really happened to him. So come to find out, my uncle did not take his medicine, his epileptic medicine. He was supposed to get his prescription refilled, but he did not do so for some reason, and he missed his time period to take the medicine, and he didn't, and he passed away due to that reason alone. So I informed my platoon sergeant, because mind you, I have to use the chain of command. I said, listen, I'm not going to be there because, mind you, this is November. I'm not going to be there because my uncle's funeral is this day, and I can't drive back and forth. It's a 3-hour drive. So he said, okay, once again, okay, what day do you want to split train? I was like, oh, I can split train these days, whatever. So he was like, okay. No word back. Nobody said anything. Then I would say the second day, because I think this was a 3-day drill. The second day, he was blowing up my phone at 4 o'clock in the morning. And he was like, oh, you need to be here. Where are you at? Where are you at? Acting like he didn't know. So I'm like, we had this conversation towards the beginning of this month that I was not going to be at drill. So I'm like, what is he talking about? You know what I mean? So I'm like, what? So I have the commander, first sergeant, and my platoon sergeant blowing my phone up. So I'm like, what is going on? So I'm like, hello? And they're like, oh, private first class Lawson, you're supposed to be here. Oh, what happened? What's going on? So I'm like, what in the world? Mind you, I'm already stressed out. Kind of like I'm in my feelings because my uncle just passed away, and I had just seen him. That's the craziest part. I had just seen him. And I'm going to put this out there. If you have somebody in your life, like, life is is very unpredictable. People always like to say short, but it's not even that it's short. It's unpredictable. Like, it will throw you some curveballs. You can see somebody one day and then the next day they be gone. So it's just important to, keep that in mind and cherish people that you have around you. So they were yelling on the phone. I'm like, listen, I'm going through a lot right now. I don't need this. So I did what anybody else would do that's in that emotional type of like headspace. Cause I'm grieving. I don't need to be yelled at or getting yelled at saying, "Oh, where the fuck are you?" All this on the phone. So I did what I had to do, which was block them. And I do not regret it to this day. Anyway, so I blocked their ass. And so different people was calling me. They was calling me from different numbers. Did not answer. I'm like, you know what? I have enough going on. I don't need this extra stress. You know what? Sometimes you have to regroup. Sometimes you have to be like, fuck this. My mental state means more to me than whatever the fuck they have going on. Don't let nobody push you deeper into that like stage of feeling like shit. Like, just don't let them do that. So anyway, December drill comes. I show up. I, say hey to the first sergeant. Everything was perfectly fine and dandy, whatever. January comes. My birthday. I could not come. Why? Because I was in Vegas. Yep, I sure in the fuck did go to Vegas. I had to treat myself, okay? Sometimes you have to treat yourself. So that vlog on this channel when I went to Vegas, that's what that was. That's when I was going to Vegas, and I guess like the day I was leaving, that was the day of my first day of drill. But mind you, they knew this because of course, why would I go somewhere and not say nothing? So they knew about it. Well, the platoon sergeant knew. It's very important that y'all remember the platoon sergeant knew everything every time. I texted him, I called him, I talked to him. So anyway, when was it? February. I come back to drill for February, and they all sit me down, and they talk to me. Mind you, during this time, my boyfriend at the time tries to hack into my phone because he thought I was cheating or whatever. Doing whatever. So he hacked into my phone. I actually had to get my phone restarted. But there's a silver lining at the end of this. So I went to February's drill, and they were like, "Oh, Lawson, you have too many AWOLs. This is grounds to give you a UCMJ. This is grounds to give you an Article 15. Oh, because you have too many unexcused days." And I'm super confused. I'm like, what? I talked to Sergeant about this, my platoon sergeant. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, your platoon sergeant said he didn't know where you were for all these days, or he didn't know what was going on with you, or whatever. And I'm like, so y'all didn't know that my uncle passed away recently? Y'all didn't know that I went to his funeral? Y'all didn't know none of this? But I'm talking to the commander and the first sergeant at this point. And they were like, no, we didn't know. And do you have proof? What's your proof? Did you have proof that you talked to him? Because it's his word against yours. So I'm like, dang, he kind of makes me like an asshole, right? So I was like, wait, I have text messages. Then I realized I did it because my phone restarted. However, what I did not remember at the time while they were cursing me out or whatever is my iPad is backed up to my phone. So they were like, oh, if you miss another drill, we could have you arrested, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, y'all really gonna lock me up? That's crazy. So I'm like, why would I lie about my uncle passing away? What reason would I have to lie about, just like the whole thing? Like, it didn't make sense. I'm like, why would somebody lie about stuff like that? And they were like, oh, well, some people do. I'm like, I'm not lying about that. So they brought my platoon sergeant in the room as well, and he was like, no. He was denying everything. And if I could figure out how to put the text messages that I had with me and this platoon sergeant in this, I will put it up, because I went home and I remembered that my iPad is backed up to my phone, so all my messages are saved on my phone. He thought he was going to get away with lying on me and not communicating what I said to him to the first sergeant and commander. So I'm like, you know what? He's not about to get away with this. So I screenshotted all of our text messaging of when I said I needed to be excused, or when I said, hey, the week that y'all trying to do drill, I have finals. Not only am I doing college and the Army, I'm also in extracurricular activities. So it's like it's more on my plate, and I also was working. So it's like a lot. It's too much at the time, and that just added more stress, including the fact that my uncle passed away. But obviously, that's out of my that's out of my hands. So the day they actually the next drill date, which I believe by this time it was March or April drill, and they were like yelling at me, all this stuff. My dad actually was in the hospital because he had high blood pressure. He had some type of diabetic situation going on. Pretty stressed out thinking about my dad, and I decided to go to drill instead of like going to the hospital and being with my dad, because I didn't want to make myself look like more of an asshole for not being there for the past couple drills, which were excused, but he was saying that it wasn't excused. So I showed up. I sent them the proof. They didn't say anything yet. I don't think they even read the email that I sent them yet. So it wasn't until May when I came to drill and they sat me down and they apologized. We're sorry for that, and we're gonna work on our communication within the chain of command, because your platoon sergeant didn't communicate these things to us, so we didn't know what was going on with you. It just kind of like you were just missing or just AWOL. And I'm like, yeah, that obviously was not the case. Like, that doesn't make sense for me to just do that out of nowhere, especially for my first year, like, in the Army. So I'm like, you know what? I can't, like, I don't know. I hold grudges, so I'm still, like, even when I go up there now, I'm, like, real grudgy, or I look at them a certain type of way, because it's just, basically, if you, like, new in the Army, and they told me this as well, like, don't just depend on your, like, chain of command. Sometimes you have to break that, because these people will not communicate things for you. They will do anything to make themselves look good. He knew, he had the text messages himself of what I told him in the conversation, but he was just acting like I was just like a shitty soldier. Like, that's what he was trying to make me look like. And he almost succeeded. And that's why this is another thing. I'm gonna tell y'all this. Always have receipts, okay? Always have receipts, because these people will literally set you up for failure. They'll try to make you look like you are a bad person, or you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And yeah, just, you know what? Just do you. If you have other things going on, let somebody know. And if you have problems with your platoon sergeant, talk to higher ups, because those platoon sergeants, basically, they will throw you under the bus, or they try to make you look like you an asshole so that they can keep their rank, and so that they don't look bad when it's really on them to communicate those things to the higher up, that's the chain of command. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. That was my story on how I almost got arrested, or how they were trying to get me arrested in the military. Y'all be careful. Like I said, always keep receipts. Do not answer phone calls. Communicate through text messaging, because these people will set you up and they make you look crazy. All right? So be safe out there.